Welcome to U.S. Immigration TV. Well, on a previous video, I discussed about a new memo on how the Biden administration is limiting deportations. They're even going so far as to exercising what is called prosecutorial discretion in terms of whether or not to bring deportation cases or even dismiss existing deportation cases. Well, I have an update for you, and I have some very good news, especially for one of my clients. Now, we have a case where there is a pending deportation case, and lo and behold, in the mail, we received a motion from the trial attorneys or the prosecutors asking the court to dismiss the case. So if you are in deportation right now, maybe what happened to our client could also benefit you. Now, of course, I'm not giving you any guarantees as it depends on the facts and circumstances of each case. But it is showing us that the Biden administration is finally acting on that memo, going so far as to even urge the courts on their own to dismiss cases. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of background about our client's case. Your case does not have to be exactly like my client's case. I'm only giving you the factual background as an example. But if you are in any kind of deportation or removal proceeding, or even if you already have a final order of removal, maybe this Biden memo could benefit you. Okay, so in our case, our client had married a U.S. citizen and had already received a 2-year conditional green card. But as sometimes happens, the marriage did not work out and they got divorced. But his conditional status had not been terminated. So after his divorce, his mother went ahead and petitioned him as a single adult child. It's called category F1. Well, eventually, the priority date on his mother's petition became current and he filed for adjustment of status. But when he went to the adjustment interview, the immigration officers had a policy that if a person was still under conditional status based on a marriage to a citizen, they had to go in front of a judge in order to terminate their conditional status. Well, guess what? They put him in deportation. And the hearing is now scheduled for sometime in 2022. But then there was a change in policy where the USCIS said it was no longer necessary for people who are in conditional status to go in front of a judge to terminate their conditional status. But the case was still pending in deportation. Well, we recently received a motion to dismiss. And you know what? I'm going to read you wording of that motion because it's very encouraging. So it says right here, let me read it here. The Department of Homeland Security requests this honorable court to dismiss the instant proceedings without prejudice. The circumstances of the case have changed to such an extent that continuation is no longer in the best interest of the government. The respondent, meaning our client, is a beneficiary of an approved I-130 petition and may adjust in front of the USCIS. So here we have a situation where a deportation is pending, but now they are going ahead and dismissing case. And I'll let you right now know, during Trump, even having the trial attorneys agree to a motion to dismiss was next to impossible. But now, in other words, they are exercising prosecutorial discretion. Here we have a person is in deportation, but the government, on their own, is urging the court to dismiss the case so the person can go back in front of USCIS and adjust status. Okay, now, how can this benefit you? If you are already in deportation right now, or you already have a deportation order, and you're not one of the enforcement priorities, like a terrorist or a felon, and maybe, at the time you were put in deportation, you did not have a way to get a green card, no form of relief, but today you do. For example, A petition was filed years ago and only now the priority date is current. Or you may have just gotten married to a U.S. citizen, or you have a U.S. citizen child who just now turned 21, and now you have a way to get a green card. So this new Biden memo could possibly benefit you because perhaps the government would be willing to reopen an old deportation case or be willing to dismiss your case. Also, you don't necessarily have to wait for the government to bring a motion to dismiss. You maybe should want to consult with an attorney who can perhaps package your case and negotiate with the trial attorneys or the government if they would be willing to reopen the case or join in what's called a motion to dismiss. But I have to tell you, this is great news because the Biden administration had stated that they would limit deportations, and now we're starting to see it happen. And so I made this video because I wanted to keep you constantly updated on immigration developments, especially positive news, as they happen. So, of course, make sure that you like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel. I'm Michael Gurfinkel, and this is US Immigration TV.